In the top stories, Criminal Records Amendment Bill passed. Key reforms to enhance the effectiveness of the Poverty Alleviation Program. And Prime Minister Dr. Drew welcomes training exercise for junior officers of the Customs and Excise Department. The details on these stories and more after the break.
In cricket, there are a few essentials. A bat, a pitch, a ball, some fielders, and plenty of refreshments. Enjoy the cricket with Angostura Chill. Angostura Chill, the official refreshment partner of the Hero CPL T20.
Get the kind of value you'll love that's unmatched at Courts now. We're unmatched in quality and prices. Buy any item and get up to 30% off the second item of same or equal value store-wide. When you shop with Ready Finance, you can get it now with no cash and pay over time. Now that's unmatched value. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply. Promotion runs February 28, 2023.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. The Criminal Records Rehabilitation of Offenders Amendment Bill 2023 has been passed. The new law will expunge the criminal records of persons who were convicted of the cultivation of 5 or less cannabis plants or who were imprisoned for less than 3 years. On Wednesday, Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, introduced the bill, leading the debate.
On the passage and gazetting of this bill, the criminal records of persons convicted of cultivating cannabis, those who cultivated 5 or less trees, those who were fined, those who received imprisonment of 3 years or less will be expunged. Expunged, Madam Speaker. This will include a greater number of persons who can have their records clean and can once again join society in its fullness and pursue their dreams and aspirations.
Member of Parliament for constituency number 5, Honorable Sean Richards, rebutted that the parent legislation should reflect the change sought by the government.
Because here it is that in terms of this particular piece of legislation, you're saying that persons who would have grown 5 trees in the past, that would not be part of their criminal record. However, as it is, you still can't grow 5 trees within your home without having, whether it is police confiscating them or some police officer might take a decision to bring a matter against you because legally you are not allowed to grow those 5 trees, as had been discussed when we were looking at the legislation.
The Prime Minister stated that such charges and records negatively affect young people as it denies them careers in medicine, housing, education, loans and job opportunities. The law now goes to Governor General Her Excellency Dame Marcella Leiber GCMGJP for her signature. The Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP, is undergoing key reforms that will strengthen the effectiveness of the social assistance program as part of the government's strategy to build a robust social protection system. In a national address on Sunday, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Social Development, Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, said that the program will be rebranded in the coming months as a temporary cash transfer income supplement program. It will have a new name and clearly defined objectives, conditions, and operational plans.
To ensure that the resources allocated for this program are distributed across a wide spread of society, each successful applicant will be allowed to spend 6 months or a maximum of 1 year on the program based on needs. Conditions for graduation of the program will be identified and determined through the implementation of case management and tracking.
He said PAP is now targeted to support households earning less than $3,000 and unable to meet their basic needs.
An evaluation of poverty rates and standards of living in St. Kitts and Nevis indicates that an individual who simply earns less than $3,000 does not equate to vulnerability or inability to live comfortably. Vulnerability exists when a household is earning less than $3,000 and is still not able to meet the basic needs for survival for every person in that household. As we apply a more comprehensive approach to poverty reduction across the Federation, in addition to refining the eligibility criteria and enforcing graduation dates, the new iteration of this poverty reduction initiative will apply case management whereby the officers of the Department of Social Services will work to assist beneficiaries.
Minister Hanley said that the government also recognizes the need to innovate and create initiatives that help to reduce poverty in more sustainable ways, with considerations to increase minimum wage, review and increase social security benefits to pensioners and the disabled, create more jobs and opportunities for entrepreneurship, and diversify the economy to increase employment, productivity, and financial independence. Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Honorable Dr. Terence Drew has welcomed the commencement of a training program for junior officers of the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department. The Prime Minister was at the time addressing the opening ceremony for the Caribbean Customs Law Enforcement Council, CCLEC, Junior Officers Basic Training Course on Monday at the Customs Conference Room. In his remarks, Prime Minister Drew impressed upon the junior officers the significance of the Customs and Excise Department to the overall safety and security of the Federation. He said, quote, "This department is extremely important, and therefore it is important that training be a fundamental part of this department. I expect all of you to make the most of what you learn here this week and to put what you learn into practice to achieve the best results possible. I trust that this will result in significant and qualitative changes in this department." Prime Minister Drew stated that exercises like the CCLEC Junior Officers Basic Training Course is in line with the mandate of his administration to strengthen the nation's border security, which will help to create a sustainable island state. The month-long capacity-building exercise will expose untrained officers to the necessary skills needed to increase their effectiveness in protecting the nation's borders from the illicit movement of goods and people. After the break, Cabinet endorses National Land Management Strategic Approach and St. Kitts and Nevis at Tech Camp Media Workshop. Stay with us.
Your Hot Sauce Value Mart IGA specials running January 26th to February 8th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Bigelow Teas, $9.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Pancake Syrup, $9.99. Dole Juice Blends, $12.99. Shoppers Value Ice Cream, $35.99. Bird's Eye Corner Decor, $16.99. Downy Fabric Softener April Fresh, $25.49. And now, a very low weekly value deals. IG and Essential Everyday Pancake Mix, $9.99. IG and Essential Everyday Chunk Light Tuna, $3.49. Extra Liquid Detergent, $22.99. Crunch and Munch, $4.99. and Hammer Deodorant, $7.99. Boost Nutritional Drinks, $8.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa debit or black cards can do.
Mimi, what's that song?
It can get you out of a pickle. Using my National Bank Visa card is fast, secure, and convenient.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
We embarked a couple of years ago on a transformation program, and that is essentially to push the company into the 21st century. We're seeking to continue to be relevant, continue to be the leader in the business community, because if you stand still, somebody else is moving ahead of you.
We now employ about 110 persons on Nevis across the group. Back then we probably had half of them.
TVC impacted people's lives. Have about a handful of people who will tell you, TVC is my life.
Supporting stakeholders, obviously very, very strong and committed staff, and customers who believe in us.
Well, the scholarship program, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best in St. Kitts.
Almost every year you get a student who says, one day I'm going to be Prime Minister.
I was interviewing for the Warrell Tyson Scholarship Program. Eventually was told a few weeks later that I was a successful recipient. Those soft skills, I think, were tremendous and still serve me even up to today.
Welcome back. The Cabinet has endorsed the Ministry of Sustainable Development's National Land Management Strategic Approach. This, according to Cabinet Secretary Dr. Marcus Natter during the post-Cabinet press briefing for the meeting held on February 6th. He explained what the Ministry of Sustainable Development will put in place.
The Ministry will conduct a series of communication and public engagement sessions to sensitize the public about their plans for addressing major land allocation challenges. Issues to address include, but are not limited to, double and triple booking of lots, resumption of payments for land, considerations for prioritized allocation to various demographics, identification of land for the National Housing Corporation-led Second Housing Revolution, and the policy on land for commercial development.
Dr. Natter said activities will include radio interviews, town halls, and a Land Matters Fair, which will be held on February 9th and 10th at the Ministry's compound at Bladen Commercial Development, Bastia. Media personnel from St. Kitts and Nevis are attending a two-day crisis communication TEP camp in Miami this week. More in this report.
The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, in collaboration with the U.S. Department of State, is hosting the two-day workshop dubbed Tech Camp. The sessions are being held at the Hilton Blue Lagoon Hotel Conference Room in Miami, Florida. The Federation is represented by Jason Davis of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, Lesroy Williams of the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service, and Jermaine Abel of Open Interactive. The workshop aims to bring together journalists, government information officers, government officials, and social media influencers from countries throughout the English-speaking Caribbean to equip them with digital tools and training to decipher disinformation in crisis situations such as natural disasters.
Public Affairs Officer of the United States Embassy to Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, and the OECS, Donald Maynard, spoke of the importance of tackling the spread of misinformation.
Without accurate, fact-checked information, we're putting people's lives in danger. And regardless of the source of the disinformation, we want to make sure that the public knows what's going on in a timely fashion so that they can prepare, react, and be resilient to natural crises.
The Tech Camp runs from February 8 to 9, and topics on the agenda include finding the truth in a rapidly changing environment, understanding the role of the media, communicating the disaster management cycle, and communicating quickly and effectively in a crisis, a roadmap for best practices. The 30 participants are drawn from Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, the Bahamas, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Lucia. Jason Davis for ZIZ News.
The Ministry of Education has informed that all government schools in the Bastia zone will be closed early on Thursday instead of Friday as previously announced. According to the ministry, the early closure is to facilitate the enhanced curriculum resensitization session for teachers. Children should be picked up by 12:45 p.m. from respective schools. Coming up in regional news, British family to pay